In this video, I interview Charlie from Charisma on Command, and we talk about how to get people to actually subscribe to your YouTube channel, why your current format of your videos may be hurting you, and how to use other influencers to grow your influence. Coming up. Hey, what's up guys? Sean here with Video Influencers. Hope you build your influence, income, and impact with online video. And I'm sitting here with Charlie from Charisma on Command. How's it going?
It's good, man.
Good to see you. Pumped to be here at ClamorCon. He has one of my favorite YouTube channels that's really about how to grow your charisma, but ultimately, like, how do you influence people?
What's up, everybody? This is Charlie from Charisma on Command, and today I'm going to be doing a charisma breakdown of Jennifer Lawrence.
PewDiePie is the biggest YouTuber by far. It's not even close. And with his recent milestone of 50 million subscribers, I thought it'd be interesting to look into the factors that contributed to his massive success.
That scenario sucks. So here are 5 tips to make sure that you never run out of things to say in conversation again.
So I'm so pumped to have him here on the Video Influencers channel, but break it down a little bit of your story and what your channel is about.
So my story individually is that I was a very shy guy. I was voted most likely to break out of his shell in high school, struggled tremendously with women, and that was honestly the biggest pain point for me. So as I grew up, I kind of broke out of this mindset of I am this nerd, I have to be introverted too. I can learn to be more outgoing if I can learn the things that the people who are more outgoing and charismatic do. So it started, and this is where the channel kind of evolved later, by paying attention to my friends of mine who were really cool. And being like, what is he doing? How come when he tells a joke, people like it, but when I repeat the same joke in a different context, nobody laughs?
Yeah.
So it was learning by watching and modeling people that were better at it than I was. And as I started to learn it, I would get friends who had seen my evolution ask me how it happened, which led to me teaching them, which led to a business, and from there, the YouTube channel.
This is really a must check out YouTube channel because there's so many tips and nuances of how do you communicate better. I mean, if you are creating videos, you can learn from your channel. If you're a speaker, author, person, you know, if you deal with other people, it helps to have more charisma. It's gonna increase your income, your influence, all that stuff.
Yeah.
It's a lot of good content, but talk about the progression. Like, what are some of the things you started from zero, just like everybody? What were the growth stages?
So the growth stages, we started, I mean, God, we made such bad mistakes. I think the first thing is our company was called Kick-Ass Academy at first.
Okay.
And I did that because I thought it was cool. I was a 22-year-old. I was like, it's gonna be how to live a kick-ass life.
Yeah.
Except I didn't check with anyone to see what that made them think of. I thought everyone would take the time to read our about page and all of our articles and they would learn. People thought it was like a martial arts gym, you know? Or even when they did discover it, it just sounded like it was for 17 and 18-year-old guys, which it really was. So the first stage was actually listening and speaking to the ideal person who I wanted to learn from me. And this was a lot of my good friends at the time.
Which also led to a name change and
which
kind
led
of a
to a
rebrand?
name change and a rebrand. And what we did throughout just 10 interviews with my friends, I was like, why do you like me, but you don't associate with my business? They're like, because of the name. And so in listening to them, a lot of them had this idea. They wanted to learn how to be confident and turn it on at a moment's notice. So when that's where the name Charisma on Command came from. So that was stage one. With overnight, we changed the name and we got more business. It was incredible.
Cool.
It was incredible. After that, it was switching. I think one of the things, if you're out there creating content, is format is so critical. I was writing articles similar to what we do on the YouTube channel for about 2 years, and the business was tiny. We had a small email list. I was scraping by, trying to pay rent, and I couldn't afford it. And when we started to switch from articles to YouTube, immediate upshot in how people were looking at it. Obviously, it's a confidence and charisma channel. Should have seen that sooner. That people wanted to see it on camera. So switching to YouTube, and then we discussed this. The big breakthroughs for us were actually riding the coattails of some that you call the fame jacking of some famous people. So when we did a video on Conor McGregor, that was huge. That nearly doubled our channel size. We did a video on Donald Trump early in his presidential run. Huge for us. Then we did people like Jimmy Fallon, Ellen DeGeneres. And that took us from starting around a base of 10,000 subscribers to 300,000 in a couple of months. And from there, it's just been kind of crazy.
Now crushing it, well over 800,000 subscribers. And I love that because you're really using influencers to grow your influence, and you do it in such a cool way. You break down the tips, strategies, communication tips, charisma tips from these people serving the audience, but it makes a lot of sense. And sometimes people ask questions about like fair use, and how could you use content like that, not kind of understanding that space. And that's really how you do it. You're commentating on it, so you pull in different photos and different elements. But what have you learned about that?
Fair use? Well, we had an issue with fair use. So we, won't say any name, one of the videos we did on Conor McGregor, was, I feel, aggressively flagged for some of the content that was in it. And we fought with them, and what happened is YouTube, I understand their position, is that they have to assume that you've done it wrong, because if they don't take the video down immediately, they are in trouble. So for about a month, our business was pretty hindered. Our biggest video was down. We couldn't collect emails, which was how we make money. So what I learned to do from them is just err absolutely on the side of caution. And what that has meant for us is when we do a clip, I absolutely chop it before 30 seconds. And ideally before 15 seconds, which is good. One, it makes that I'm actually commenting on it frequently, but two, it's not triggered any of YouTube's internal bots that go in and check for sound or video things. Have not had a single copyright issue since. So for those people who can and are concerned with fair use and are trying to do commentary, the more frequently, specifically if you can get 30-second clips or less, I've not had any issues with fair use or people flagging my channel since then.
Smart, super awesome. Now, one of the things we were talking about was format, the actual format of your content. What advice would you give for influencers to maybe be experimenting with their format, and what's your thinking and what you guys do?
So we started, I told you, the first format we had was a written article, which did as well as you can, written articles did not do fantastic for us. It built a business, but it was barely getting by. We switched to YouTube, and immediately with the visual format did better. And we had a couple of formats that we tested. The first was this charisma breakdown style. So we'd take a famous person, chop up clips of them doing what they do, and then say, okay, here's what he's doing with his eyes, here's what he's doing with his tonality, here's what he's doing as he, the types of word choice that he uses. From there, as we built a bit more of a following, I was able to get on camera myself, which I think is important, because if you're a creator and you're just a voice, it's tough to build a connection with your audience. So we had these talking head, we've since done cartoon format. What the biggest important thing that I can say is, I think each format has kind of a view multiplier. And what I mean is that when we do a breakdown video, I know that it's going to do 2 or 3 times better than something typically with me on screen or a cartoon. And for everybody in every different industry or niche that you're in, each format is going to have something differently. And I see early creators get locked into copying what somebody that they love did. So I've seen people do charisma stuff and they only do the breakdowns that we do. And what I tell them is, listen, that was great for us, it can be good for you, but you're going to have to experiment if you want to see the same kind of rapid growth that we have had. So the best advice I can give you is watch different channels outside of your niche, see what kind of things that they're doing, and if you can innovate on the types of format, meaning you can talk about what somebody in your industry is doing that has made them successful, or you can get on camera yourself, or you can do an interview, or you can have somebody draw you, a draw my lifestyle thing. Each one of these is going to appeal to your audience in a different way, and testing them is really the only way to know.
I love that. I actually wanted to say that. Influencers, I kind of want to give you like some homework. That was brilliant advice. Go check out their channel, also check out other channels, and maybe jot down 10 different format possibilities, and then think about when you could execute on those and experiment, right? Test and experiment. Is that what you guys have done, and trying to see what works?
Absolutely, and I think what we did is when you can bring a new format to your niche is where you stand the biggest chance of explosive growth. So if, for instance, in a lot of industries, interviews have been done to death. In ours, the breakdown format had not been done, and that's why we saw crazy growth. Right now, live streaming is a potentially new format that a lot of people could take huge advantage of. And so I've not done it, but if you're out there and you don't have a competitor live streaming, like gobble that up, do it, Yeah,
I love that. Now let's talk about charisma and really influence itself. What I love about having you on this, our show, is that you help people ultimately grow their influence as well. There's certain tips there, but what can video influencers do specifically to maybe get more people to subscribe and to get deeper depth and transformation for what they're teaching or what they're helping people with, or ultimately influence people, you know, we're trying to get them to know, like, and trust you, those things. What are some of your tips?
So I would say at the end, consider what you would like the person to do first, right? Do you want somebody to subscribe to your channel? Do you want them to like your video? Do you want them to join your email list or buy your product? Once you know what you would like them to do, flip that completely and think about how does that benefit them? Because if it doesn't benefit them, it's going to be a very hard sell.
That's great.
And what I hear a lot of people doing, and it's just standard marketing advice, but I'll try to make it more specific, is they'll say, make sure to go buy my free my ebook here. It's awesome. Or they'll say, make sure to sign up for my email list. And what they don't do is give the person a compelling reason for them. And that's one thing that I think we've done well. You can watch the end of our videos to see how we've done it. But when I talk about subscribing, I say, if you like this video and you want more of it, definitely subscribe to the channel. Charisma is not necessarily something that you can learn in a 10-minute video. In fact, the best way that I learned was by making it a habitual part of my life. And we release one video a week, so if you want to make sure to never miss it, you want to see it on your homepage, click subscribe. subscribe now. And we've seen our subscriptions go up way faster than our view count. Same type of thing with our email list or even our products.
Yeah.
So consider how what you want them to do is going to be beneficial for their life. And when you can live in that mode, one, you're going to get more people, but two, it's not going to feel like sales. It's going to feel like a gift to these people, even if you're asking them to buy something. Because the idea of the product that you sell is, I'm going to give you something that's going to give you exactly what you want at a price that is well worth it.
I love that. Now you're just talking about the call to action. Another thing we were talking about off camera was how you start your videos. What are some of the tips for maybe capturing attention at the beginning?
Sure. So I think this is so underrated. Mystery is so huge, and I think when people stick around in a story or a video, it's because there's been a question triggered in their brain that they haven't gotten answered. And an easy way to do this, one, you can ask a question at the beginning. But second, what I tend to do is raise a problem at the beginning that person has and say that I'm going to fix it by the end of it. I'm going to tell you the 3 things that are going to help you make a first impression so that you don't have that situation that I just described in the first sentence.
I love it.
So again, you can watch the beginning of some of our videos, but I try to hook attention at least in the first 2 to 3 sentences because you don't have a ton of time on YouTube.
I love it. Super good. Well, are you ready for the lightning round?
I'm set. Let's do it.
That was it. Huh? You came quick with that one. This is the lightning round. 3, 2, and 1. Favorite TV show?
Game of Thrones.
First celebrity crush?
Oh, I don't know what, Jessica Alba.
Cat or dog?
Dog.
Favorite social network besides YouTube?
I like Facebook.
Facebook.
I think I do.
Great. Love it. Coffee or tea?
Tea. Green tea.
Green tea. What is one book every influencer watching should read?
4-Hour Workweek. It's cliche. But if you don't read the 4-Hour Workweek, go read Awaken the Giant Within by Tony Robbins.
Awesome. We'll link those up in the description below. What is your favorite documentary or movie, or one of them?
Oh man, I saw a great one called Cartel Land. And I know it's lightning round, but man, it was awesome. Absolutely go check it out.
Cartel Land?
Cartel Land, sorry. Cartel Land, about the
Great.
cartels in Mexico.
Awesome. What is your hidden talent?
My hidden talent, well, it's a future hidden talent because I'm not good at it today, but I'm gonna be a good singer. I'm trying very hard to learn.
Hey, love it. What are one of your no-miss morning rituals?
No-miss morning rituals. I would say, I don't have one. I have a bad morning routine, so sleeping in is unfortunately one of my no-miss morning rituals.
That's the morning ritual. I love it. Sleep in. Hit snooze.
No alarm.
If you could give a TED Talk, what would it be about?
I'm going to give a TED Talk, I think, actually in October, and it's going to be about mindsets. I realize that's the most important thing for charisma. I talk a lot about the surface level stuff on the channel, but I want to get deeper, and I think a TED Talk is an appropriate place to do that.
I love that. I love that. How has failure or setbacks set you up for later success in life, and do you have a favorite failure that you've learned from?
Oh God, I love failure. I think that your relationship to failure, and if you see it as something to lean into or run away from, determines how much success you have in your life. So, favorite failure that I've learned from, I would say the first time I ever tried to kiss a girl, and this is kind of what put me on the charisma path. I was 17 years old, I never kissed a girl, and rather than actually make it to her lips, I leaned in and I headbutt her. And we never dated after that. It left me with a gaping heartbreak.
I bet.
But that's what inspired me to go out and be like, all right, I can't be this way anymore.
That's so powerful. That was terrible, but now.
Exactly,
that's
exactly.
Cool. That's awesome. That's awesome. What advice would you give your 16-year-old self that you know now?
Read more.
Read more?
Yeah, just self-improvement books are not fake. They're awesome. Read more. And buy Google. It's going to be great.
Love it. Do you have a quote that you like to live your life by or that you think about often?
Yeah, I do. I actually have it tattooed right here. I don't mean to mess with the lapel. So it's the secret to freedom is courage.
Nice. Strong. What's your favorite place in the whole wide world and why?
It's Rio de Janeiro. It's called the Orla. It's the block right before the beach, and they shut it down on Sundays. People walk. It's the most vibrant, beautiful place I've ever been in my entire life. People skateboarding, people rollerblading, dogs walking. It's just the most alive place I've ever seen, and it fills me with a sense of joy every time I'm there.
I love it. Strong. And then that's the lightning round. So how can people connect with you? Of course, we're going to link all your stuff up in the description below, but where are you at online, YouTube channel, social media?
So www.charismaoncommand.com. If you want to join the email list, there's a blue button. Put your email in there and we'll give you updates about the channel. This is my telling you why you should do it. And you learn how to be charismatic. And then of course the channel is called Charisma on Command. You can subscribe there if you liked what you saw here.
Absolutely, absolutely. Thank you so much for hanging out today. And I just want to, really affirm you too and just say how grateful I am for your content.
Oh,
I love your
that.
videos. And it's something that I really believe for those who want to grow their influence, it's one of the must-have channels in your channel belt.
Your repertoire.
In your repertoire. And so, but could you give just a final word of just kind of encouragement for the influencers that are going out there, crushing it, hustling to just stay on their grind?
Absolutely. There's nothing that has made, I think I've met a lot of people here, they are such people, meaning that there is nothing obviously exceptional about them except that they put dedication and time and effort into screwing up a lot.
Yeah.
And then eventually they stopped screwing up and started figuring out how to do it. And maybe they still screw up, but just not as often, and they've, you know, achieved a measure of success.
I love that. So don't give up, keep failing forward. Appreciate you so much, influencers. Thanks for checking out this interview, and keep building your influence, income, and impact with online video, and we will talk soon.